Whee. These old Jimbas. He's like the Sphinx today. He looks like the Sphinx, doesn't he? Except he's got his nose, isn't he? He's got his nose, and he sniffs with its nose. My dog smells terrible, what that joke is. What was it? My dog has no... I've talked that up. My dog has no nose. How does it smell? Terrible. Yeah. Boom, boom. So, hello. Today I'd like to take a look at this book, which I think is really cool. It's a really interesting book. This chap, Kevin MacLeod, he's a designer by sort of trade, by his university and all the rest of it. My first wife was the same. She was very much into her design. This chap, my first wife was into surface pattern design originally, but this chap was into I think he makes ornate lampshades and things like that. Really interesting. He still has a business going on now that he does that, but perhaps he was more famous for his series called Grand Designs on the Channel 4 television, which, to be fair to him, has been going on probably since about 1999 now. So it's been going sort of 15 years and more, isn't it? I'm terrible at maths. 99, 9, 10, 12. I'm joking. It's been going since 1999. So a really good book, and I was very glad to have found it, to be honest with you. I'll sort of give you a rundown of it, so you can stop and pause if you want to. That's just something Polish. Don't worry about that. That's just something pertaining. Actually, it was a house that was on fire, which wasn't good. What happened was a really lovely house had been restored, and he got struck by lightning, and which was a real shame because they just spent all the money on it to do it up. So Kevin MacLeod and Fanny Blake. Miss Funny. I mean, Miss Funny. I mean, yeah, well, we won't go there, will we? You'd never guess by my crude humour that I was once a builder myself, would you? But anyway, there you go. That's all the bits and bobs that you need if you want to grab yourselves a copy. And Talkback, I believe, is the production company. It's interesting because Kevin MacLeod went into the media industry as my first wife did as well. They designers have highly sought after if they're good, obviously. And Kevin MacLeod comes across very well. He's a great presenter, to be fair to him. It's not something I could do, good lord. But so what he did. Okay, not everyone will understand. He effectively covered a series of programs that focus upon people who are doing self-builds and or very strange things, upgrades, turning a Victorian house into a modern sort of interior, or very old style buildings like this Cruck Frame place, which is absolutely awesome. This oak frame. You see, in the old days, they were limited with lengths of wood that they could use before they kind of broke. So they designed all these various different support methods and what have you, which is absolutely awesome. I like it a lot. And then you've got your more modern builds with sort of USB or whatever they call it in England. The board. I don't even know what they call it. A USB in my world is a universal serial bus. It's part of a computer. But they've got this sort of PSB board or something. It's like a sort of, it's like sawdust that's been compressed with glue. So other type projects were, conversions from a chapel to a house, what have you. I can highly recommend. This is actually very interesting because that's the Amersham Water Tower. It was built in the First World War by prisoners of war, German prisoners of war, and it's still there to this day. And it's been converted now into a house, although it's a bit of a cheat because the actual house is behind a bank of earth. There is a proper house. Obviously, they don't live in a water tower. Although I think they actually do go into the house via the water tower through a metal door. It's on a place called Coles Hill, but it's really in old Amersham. And it used to be full of water. Obviously, the pressure would provide the locality with tap water. So there's another one. A beach hut that people do. This couple did, and they're just amazing. I'm really interested in things like this. I love anything that's got building in it. Sort of build a bob. Being me, just enjoys that sort of thing. And I've done a fair few projects myself in Poland. In actual fact, restoring an old what they call a kawalerka, which what we know in England and maybe the US as well as a bed sit. And it's more of a one-room kitchen and bathroom. The one bedroom is in the same room as the kitchen, and then you have a separate sort of bathroom, you know, and that's I suppose it's about sort of 25 metres squared living accommodation. That looks good. Oh, and he also covered things like hedgehog housing, which was like a project where people who are limited means could build their own homes, help each other doing it, and then have a house at the end of it, which I think is absolutely awesome. Because let's be honest, in the UK especially, the costs of housing is just outrageous. I mean, good God, is it really worth that much? No, it's just the land value, isn't it, that bumps up the prices. These are always good. I love these sorts of places, barn conversions and things. Although I'm wary now of older houses. Hello, because they do cost an awful lot of money to maintain, and they've always got sort of something going on in them, like damp or worms or the flies, and the rats and things like that are creeping about in it. They're at night, aren't they, mate? You can hear them in the ceiling again. They're scuttling about as if they own the place. But so there you go. That is a nice converted chapel. There's the water tower. That's what the road looks like. It's very lovely, actually. So this way on is going down. You would eventually go down a hill into Amersham, and this is what's called Coles Hill. It's a very, very lovely area. In Buckinghamshire, sorry. It's in Buckinghamshire in England. So that's a nice old place that a couple did up. Another chapel. I'm absolutely not against religion. I love anyone that is religious. Massive respect. Yep, and I do believe in a higher power. Perhaps just not one particular sort of person. You know, I believe in a whole entity of spirits and things like that. Put it that way. But I would never want to live in to be honest with you, place of worship. I don't know why. I just never fancied it. But off the subject. But there you go. That's an old forge that somebody bought in Islington. They converted into a. See, these are brownfield sites, and I always like reading about these and seeing what's happened here, because effectively this was a disused industrial building which is just taking up space, isn't it? Let's face it. It's just a nonsense. It's just blocking. And so if somebody goes to buy it and then builds it into a home, then it's suddenly a usable, a viable existence, you know. And it's wonderful. I like brownfield sites because people gobble up the green spaces so much these days. That's interesting because I've built one of those Higgledy Howse type things myself, and yeah, well, I can show you later at some point maybe. There's all sorts of lovely projects in here. It's all good. It goes on and on, of course. And some people build out of glass. Some people build out of they build that's famous. That's the Frank Lloyd Wright's house called Falling Water. I think it's called, anyway, if my memory serves me. That was an amazing design. I'm not so much of a fan of this because I can tell you it looks very close to Auschwitz-Birkenau. I don't know why I see that, but I do, because they had that horrible tower where all those poor souls were mass murdered. You know, that's the ladder up to the water tower. Not a thing I would want to go up nowadays, I must say, a ladder. No, I don't think so. And it's a house built out of hay bales. So they're all very, very good. They're all good, baby. They're all good. I think that it would be too long a video to go through to my Higgledy home at the moment. But what I'll do is I'll do a separate video perhaps one day, and I'll show you around the old Higgledy house. But if I've not already done it, because my mind's losing its marbles now. But that's how the water tower worked, and that's the appendage, or whatever they call it. It's not an appendix, is it? But an appendix. Whatever. But that's the house, you know, and of course that's the water tower. Oh no, so they are actually in there. They are up there. That's amazing. That's interesting. I do like that actually. I like the weatherboarded properties. I saw a lot of those in the States, and I think they've got the right idea building out of wood. Certainly in San Francisco, a lot of wooden houses because, of course, the earthquakes. And what happens with wood? It moves, doesn't it? It moves with the tremors, but bricks just crack, and concrete, stone just cracks, doesn't it? It's not flexible. Although I believe that the Japanese, being as clever as they always are, have developed sort of concrete properties and buildings that are on like rollers. You know, so when there's an earthquake, it just rolls back and forth. Can you believe that? It's incredible. But no, anyway, I hope you found this of some interest. That looks welcoming, isn't it? How lovely is that? And yeah, and I do like things like that as well, sort of glass work. I like anything art in me, because I haven't got it. I haven't got that skill. You see, I don't have that ability to create anything. All I can create is like loads of crap. I'm forever crapping me. But anyway, I'll leave you on the handsome one. There he is. Good boy. You're a good boy, Jimbus. He's had his chimkin, haven't you, mate? You've had your chimkin dinner. It's gone chin. Anyway, if you've got this far, very much appreciated as always. Thanks ever so much. And help yourself to a peanut. In fact, they're not peanuts, are they? They're almonds and, oh well, hazelnuts in it. I can spot a hazelnut in there somewhere. Anyway, cheers.